Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I'm alone, and I'll be discussing the second season of Squid Game. Now, you may, if you've been a fan of the not a fan, nobody's a fucking, if you followed the podcast for maybe a few years or something, you might have realized that, I wasn't here for the Squid Game season 1 episode. And also the season 1 episode, I don't think it is on YouTube anyways. From what I remember at least, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I stopped doing those with compilations because there's I just didn't want to. Nobody's watching them. But yeah, I wasn't here. By that time I didn't I hadn't watched the show at any point. I wasn't interested. But I mean I was always interested. I just never got around to watching the show itself. But I always been interested, and all those people that were there aren't a part of the podcast anymore. Haven't been part of the podcast for a good while now. So yeah, I'm left up here. I binge watched. I can't say binge watched, but I watched I watched season 1. I watched season 2, and I'm here now to cover it. So yeah. Sorry for the delay in episodes. I know I've been saying that we're behind, and we are even more behind than we were then. Hopefully, by the time that all of these episodes release, you're gonna be seeing a lot more. I mean, I'm gonna try to record 4 episodes back to back to back to back. That seems like a lot, but I hope I can do it at least. Especially since one of them is Breath of the. It's this one and Breath of the Wild, which I think will be the longest. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah. I'm gonna do an episode. Yes, that one's kind of ironic. You'll see. I'll talk about Breath of the Wild. You'll see when we get to it. But yeah, so yeah, this is the longest, and hopefully we are 20. When I'm recording through 20 episodes behind. When I'm done with this, we're gonna be 18. I think I made the calculations. We're going to be 18 episodes behind or something like that. I don't fucking know. Maybe. I'm not sure. Give me 1 second while I confirm that. When are we supposed to be? When am I supposed to be? Here? No. 19. Currently it is 23 or something like that. Episodes behind right now, counting. Just yikes. But we're gonna be at, hopefully when I'm done with all these episodes, 19. Then I have to binge watch Evangelion, which I told you guys I can't binge watch. I think I've mentioned it. I just am not able to binge watch it. It's like an actual it's like if you want to completely out of context, and that's why I started to drop it in this first 5 minutes of the episode. But if you want to torture me in any shape or form, you need to do waterboarding or beating me with a fucking wrench or whatever the fuck. All you need to do is sit me down and make me watch a series. I got 20. Just make me want to just force me to binge watch a series. That I will tell you everything. Just anything but that. But yeah, I'll have to binge watch Evangelion, which is 26 episodes, which is it's so annoying to binge watch. But yeah, then there's a bunch of other stuff I like to watch as well. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. I hate it, but whatever. I need to do it anyways. Yeah. Let's So yeah, that's what I say. I think aside from yeah, I wasn't here for the episode. I will be here for season 3. Uh, I can assure you for that. I haven't watched season 3. I know what happened season 3, which is why this episode won't have a future segment. This episode was supposed to have a future segment when it was supposed to come out, which was like in May, but it doesn't now because season 3 released. Big bummer. I fucking know, but whatever, man. I don't care. So yeah, yeah, that's all I gotta say. So I wasn't here, and also because I wasn't here, I feel like I should give my thoughts on Squid Game season 1. You know, just a quick little review. I don't want to overextend it for what it is. You're here to listen to me talk about season 2, not me retread old ground and talk about season 1 when it's already an episode for that. But the thing is, like I said, I wasn't in that episode, so wanting to sort of go back in there and talk about it at least for a little bit, I think is worth doing, even if it's not gonna be that long. So let's get into it, right? Okay. So Squid Game season 1. I really like this show. It's not an S tier show. I have a really big problem season 1. I didn't make any notes for season 1. I just have it there like mini review for season 1. Season 1 mini review. Yeah. I don't have a review for this. I don't. But what I want to say is that I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the games. I really enjoyed all the characters that we saw there, and how many hardships they go through throughout the games. I feel like the episode with the what do you call it? The episode where they're playing marbles. I think it's a really powerful episode, and it's when I realized that oh my god, this show is really fucking good. Where like they spent all this time building up all these characters, and then when the time comes, it's like holy hell. Like we really care about these characters and what they've been through, and we see that. I think I don't know when that episode was. I think it might have been like penultimate or something. No, it wasn't penultimate. It was like episode maybe 6, 7. I don't know. And also, I like the pacing that they had with the show is something that I've been telling people, like I've been saying for a long time. And I think I said it last episode with Daredevil. I don't know. It's been a long ass time since that. And now, like for me mentally, it's been quite a bit since that episode came out. I know it's been like only a few days, but yeah, like Daredevil. That this series also has 9 episodes, but it makes use of that time. The only thing that's really weird to me is the fact that they had a 33-minute episode, just like on the side, which is stupidly. I was 15 when this like show came out. Whatever, man. Which like stupidly, that's what kind of turned me off. Seeing all these like very gradual episodes, and me just not wanting to watch a series that had episodes that were over an hour long. Which is really funny looking back, since I watched Tokyo Vice, which is a show that released like 2 episodes per week that were hours. Like that was like a movie drop per week. It was insane. But yeah, like me stupidly not wanting to watch it because of that. Like, oh, it's a 30-minute episode here. Why the fuck? Why is it so variable in its time? Like slots. But at this point, I don't give two fucks because it's just I just don't care. I just don't give that much of a fuck anymore. So now I just watch shit because, and like no matter the time, I can watch. I mean, it's not like I can watch fucking 4 hours. With a show, I can't do that. I get tired after one episode. But I'll have to stomach it for Evangelion. God. Yeah. But I think the show really made use of its time, not just because it got through all the games and all that stuff, and like made use and not just because it went through the games and different things, but I feel like them stretching out games lasting episodes sometimes. I think it really gives like it gives like weight to what happens in the games and how much time there is, like time we spend between games. It's not just like, oh, here's another game and then here's the other one. Like we spent quite a bit of some episodes are entirely without any games, like episode 8. The episode's like 33 minutes long. That's entirely without a game, and it's still like one of the most powerful of the entire season. Like it is ridiculously well made, really. So kudos to that. I don't know what I gave it on my heavily prestigious serialized. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5, so just an A tier. And the reason why I gave it an A tier should be quite obvious to a lot of people who I guess watched the show. I mean, who didn't watch Squid Game? Me. Yeah. Who didn't watch Squid Game? Me. I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it at some point. I watched it like afterwards, like after the whole hype train became. So it's like I kind of went in there without not without expectations, but definitely with expectations, with lower expectations. So yeah. Is this even work? Okay, there we go. So yeah, I didn't really go through that, and wasn't saying. Oh yeah, if you watched the show, again, who didn't? You may know, I think, what people have the most grievances with, and that is the police segments. The segments you have with the police character, which is Hwang Jun-ho. It's the thing is, like, what I think really ruins the show, and the thing is, everything else is so well made that I don't even care that I gave it like a I don't even care. It's not like the scene it's not like the scenes with Junho were bad. It's just that it's just that it was so stupid. It was just so, it was idiotic what it all went, like what happened in the show. So here's the thing, right? I don't mind the fact that the police guy is here. I know that like afterwards they were given they were given like interviews and whatever the fuck where they said that the police stuff was added in there after the creator of the show decided to change it from being a movie to being a show. Squid Game was supposed to be a movie, and it's probably supposed to be all about the all about like the this like that like what the show's actually about. Maybe without the I think obviously Gi-hoon was gonna win. But it might have been left more as I guess open as to what he did with that money, or like what he does afterwards. I think maybe they could like instead of like they again leave out they were gonna leave out the police stuff, or they weren't gonna have the police stuff because that would be like a lot more season 2 set up. And they were gonna have us be, I guess, they might have had the plane scene and us guessing whether Gi-hun like leaves, like goes with his daughter, or goes to visit his daughter and go to America, or he stays behind to stop the Squid Games, or maybe like that wasn't even part of the plan at all. Maybe Gi-hun was never supposed to. It was never gonna be like, oh, he wants to stop the Squid Games. Maybe it was just he was gonna leave it all behind and leave that stuff behind him. You know, like that might have been the case as well. But I don't know. So yeah. Anyways, that's my the main gripe with is the police stuff. It was clearly not really meant to be there, and it feels like, and it feels like the police character makes just a bunch of stupid decisions. Like, for example, he just kills 28, doesn't he? Like, or I guess just says stupid things. He just does not do a good job of blending of the environment that he's currently in. He kills 28, or like and all that. Just leaves his body there. Again, my main gripe isn't that he kills 28, but the fact that he leaves his body there to be discovered is like, oh yeah, that's 28. Okay, fuck. He could have easily just done something else, and then just the thing where we have like him like with the VIP like taping and all of that, like he's taping the VIP, like him telling and all of that, and like all the all of like the information about the Squid Games and all that stuff, and it just never sends. Like, first of all, the information never sends, so it's stupid. And also, just I guess also the fact that that doesn't like try to leave. Maybe like there will be boats somewhere. Doesn't even try to look for those for safer exits. It's just nope, scuba gear. Fuck that. Oh my god. And also I was saying with the VIP, he doesn't even like stay there. He immediately just leaves him, like knocks him out unconscious. Like I feel like I feel like if he just like played along saying that he was gonna kill the VIP if he ever told anyone because he got a gun, you know, like I think maybe the VIP would have cooperated because he was clearly terrified. The VIP was clearly scared. So like threatening him would have been easy just to keep quiet, but that's clearly not what happened. That's it. I mean, obviously, but like, it's not what happened in the show, and it's so stupid. It would have been such an easy solution to your problem, but it just wasn't. I don't understand. The cop Junho in this show makes so many stupid decisions. It's insane. I don't get it. And that's my main grab of the show. I think that the idea is solid. Solid. I think the idea is solid, but the thing is that the guy just makes stupid decisions that would have had like easy solutions. I don't think those scenes are bad. It's just that he's kind of dumb. Maybe that's part of like his whole thing. I don't know. Like he's just supposed to make stupid decisions and not get anywhere. But we're meant to treat it as like he's going undercover and he's doing such a bad job at being undercover. That's it. That's all. That's my entire problem with his character. He's just kind of dumb and does a lot of dumb things that would have had easy solutions that would have benefited him at least in the long run. I don't know. It is kind of fucking stupid. But yeah. For me, season 1 is, again, like I said, 4 stars, which is A tier for me. So it is still a very, very good show. I don't know how much I put it. Give me a second. Where did I put... where is it? Squid Game, here we go. Yeah, rated 4 stars. Yeah. So... I'm really I'm surprised that I liked it as much as I did. I don't watch this kind of stuff usually, but yeah, no, I did like the show. I mean, I understand why it was so I guess like why people liked it so much. Like I can see why. It's not the best thing ever. But it's certainly like I can see why. So let's get into season 2. I know you guys have been hearing about me rant about not rant, but talk about season 1 for a good while now. So let's talk about season 2 officially. Now that you know my thoughts on season 1. So how does season 2 continue the story from season 1. Obviously, at the end of season 1, we had like Gi-hun staying behind in Korea to stop the Squid Games. So, how does he? How does it continue? How does this thing end? Not end, but yeah, just continue. The midpoint, I guess you could say. So yeah, let's just get into it. First of all, what we always start off with, but not always start off with here, the effects and action. And yes, the action. I've heard to talk about this in season 1, but I'll talk about it here because it's pretty much the same thing. This show, prided itself. Let's to this point it was prides, but now it is prided because of something that happens in season 3, which I will talk about when we get to season 3 in like a few months, maybe. I have a lot more stuff that we'll catch up on. I'm gonna be real. It prides itself in having a lot of it being practical. And a lot of its sets and props being real. I mean, the props have to be real, but it prides itself with its production being practical, being physical, and this is no different. It is impressive, like this show and all. It's like and how it structures its games and all that stuff. It's really, really impressive. It must have cost a lot of money, but yeah, it still is. And there's not much more to say here. Like, it is very, very impressive. It feels grandiose. It feels like the first season. But thankfully, since there's since the games aren't repeated, they all feel very fresh. So again, like very very cool. The games like in the show they're repeated, so like it feels like a fresh start. Even though the first like season had like they both started off with this first game, which is red light green light, which I'm pretty sure it was like these games are specifically catered to Gihun because he was the first time. I guess like maybe the first time that a previous winner came back. So like them giving him like I guess they should this what do you call it I completely fucking forgot. Oh yeah, like the first like the first game was supposed to give him a false sense of security, and then the second game was supposed to was supposed to be was going to be very different, and then we had uh the what do you call it like the third game, which was kind of the same. I don't know. What was the third game in the first season? I feel like I should know this because it was like again the season wasn't very popular. I know second game. Oh no, wait. It's like no, no. It wasn't the. What was the first game? The third game in the first season. I'm completely blanking out. First game was was red light green light. Uh then the second game was the honeycomb things. Then the third game was what? For fourth game was the marbles. Fifth game was the glass tiles, and then the sixth game was the the Squid Game. What was third game? Fuck. What was third game? Give me a second. There's no way I forgot. Third game is season 1, right? Stick to the team? What was that? Can I just look here? I'm fucking stupid. Tug of War. Right. I don't think it's the third game in season 2 and the third game in season 1 doesn't really serve the same purpose, but yeah, like I was gonna say, I guess effects wise, I should probably say like effects wise, it's all really impressive. Especially like the one with like the I forgot what it's called again, but the like the one where you used to would have spinning around and all that stuff when it's spinning around, and they have to like go into doors and whatever, like that one. I think is cool, but aside from that, like I'm gonna actually, since I just realized I'm missing things about season 2 that I'm like that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. I'll oh I'll take a bit of its rating down, honestly. Sorry, but I'm going to rate it down for a couple of reasons I'm going to get into later. So, yeah. Anyways, effects are cool, and the action, which I'm going to count as the game's installment, so we see here, I think is actually a lot, I think it's the action in the show is impressive. I like how much they use like the weird design of the building that they're in to their advantage, like the final gunfight. We have like the fight in the bathroom, which it's like complete madness and all that. Then we have that's really like the games themselves, like how much tension there is. They try to recreate some things from the first season into this season. Something that I don't think can be recreated is when they're going through red light, green light, and they start running away, and you see in the background this pile of bodies trying to climb into the like through the doors and all that. That's like that is really good. That's a really good shot. They somewhat in here, but since Geekon is there to help them out, I feel like it's it's cooler. Not cooler, but like somewhat cool. Not the same level, but definitely cool. And also like when we see Thanos like push them to make them fall. Thanos is just a big villain this season, along with some other characters here and there. Like yeah, I really I really like the action in this show, and like the final firefight, especially when they have to like scrap around for ammo. It's all very realistic, and I like that they like. And something that I really appreciate that they use, I guess, the fact that I think all Koreans or something like that have to go through mandatory military service. So everyone there like has some experience. So yeah, I just gonna fire. It's except for Daeho. Daeho is a special case I'll get into later, but yeah. So I really enjoyed the action of the show and all the games that were in there as well. I feel like they provided for a lot of intense moments throughout the season, and it was. I think it was really cool. But that's only part of the show. Let's get into one of the bigger part of the things, and definitely my longest piece of notes there is, because goddamn, there are a lot of characters in this show. A lot of characters with names I'll probably butcher. I am not good pronouncing foreign names. Yeah. So I'll try my best, but I won't guarantee it. So let's just get into the characters. It shouldn't be said, but after everybody in season 1 died, we got introduced to a whole new cast of characters. So yeah, let's just. So we're gonna get into them all. I think I already discussed all the ones from season one. So let's get into this new cast of characters. That was the big thing that a lot of people really wanted to see from this show, was to see how this new cast of characters, how these new cast of characters interacted and fit in with the show. So we'll get into that. But first, let's talk about some of the returning characters. I'm actually gonna put this character. I have this list of characters. I'm gonna put this character up here because he is a returning character. So I'm just gonna put him up there. There you go. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So let's start off with our main character, the main guy, the main guy, Song Gi-hun. So after season 1, he was pretty much traumatized after what he had to go through within the Squid Game, and now he is vengeful and is going there to stop the games and all that. So yeah, I like this new iteration of Gi-hun after what we saw in season 1. I think it's a very natural take on the character. Some things that I kind of find weird from... Wait, it's a B? Okay. Some things I do find weird about Gi-hun in this show, and a big problem I have with the show, with the season in general, really, is the fact that Gi-hun does a lot of stupid moves. Like, genuinely kind of not great, not great, not great, like ways to go around his plan of wanting to stop the Squid Games. Like, for example, in the season, he is very desperate, and that is a big part of his downfall here, and why. And why, like I guess, the season it doesn't work. Which I guess it's the plan by the writers, but it doesn't. I don't know. Like, just because it's like I kind of said in my Joker 2 review from way not long ago. Like that was last month, but still, that was not. That wasn't exactly like a week ago. That was a bit ago. But like I said in that review, just because it's the writer's plans to make something doesn't mean that it is good. And Gi-hun being very antagonistic to those who do want to continue the games and have, like, I wouldn't say reason, like the most, you know, I guess, what do you call it? The most viable reasons, because of course it's the fucking Squid Games. There's a very good chance you're gonna die, and Gi-hun is right. Like, Gi-hun is right. However, what happens here is that he's so, like, in these people's faces that it's like, hey, like, we can get through this, and whatever the fuck is your previous winner, and like you read information that maybe he should have held on to, and he just kind of, it messes up his whole plan, because he clearly doesn't know. I guess what they're supposed to say is that he doesn't know what he's doing. He just came in here because basically his plan at the beginning of the show, it fails miserably. So he's basically just, like, improvising throughout the entirety of the season, which is understandable, but it still feels like he should have gone. He should have, like, done better decisions, because it's been like 4 years, give or take, since he competed in the Squid Games. Then he competed in the 2020 Squid Games, if I am not mistaken. So us just kind of seeing a very... So I would have liked to seen just a more... I don't know if like grounded take's the best word. I guess a smarter... Him making smarter decisions. Not only... I guess I get what they're going for, but I don't think it makes sense within the context of the Gihan's character of him making up this plan of him making smart decisions with going going after the recruiter, which is also that scene with the recruiter is amazing, I gotta say, and I would have liked to see that more, but it's something that's like very different from the beginning of the show. And honestly, I really gotta say, as much as this show is about the games overall, or the brutality of the games, I really like the first like 2 episodes where it's like it's in South Korea. It's just in South Korea, and then looking for the recruiter. I guess like just the first episode, or first. I think it's just first all one of those episodes. I forgot which one, but I really like those episodes. Like, those episodes are really fun. Just kind of seeing like how what Gihan's been up to since the first season, and all that. Like I think it's I think it's really really good. And yeah, I know the season peaked at that point. Maybe, but I mean, whatever, right? It's it's what it is. Those were really good. I think they really showed how Gihan's character evolved since then. But when you get to the Squid Games, it's different. He doesn't have like he doesn't really make up a viable plan. Aside from him at the very end making up the plan to try to go to the control room, which I think honestly would have worked if it wasn't for a certain character we're gonna get into later. Actually, the next character I'm gonna get into. But aside from that, yeah. So I like Gihan a lot in the show. It's just that he in the season specifically, he just makes a lot of weird and honestly really bad decisions that backfire heavily, and leads to what happens in season 3, which I haven't watched yet, unfortunately, I don't even give 2 fucks about spoil. I'm gonna be very, very honest with everybody here. I think you probably already know this because I've been going to every episode I've ever done. Oh yeah, every episode, yeah, I guess, has been going into spoilers from like minute 1. Since it's been a long time since this podcast, as you can probably tell from me talking about season 2 of Squid Game 7 months after release, and when when you will see the season 3 episode, you will know that we cover things late. Like, we cover things very late. I hope that changes in 2026. I have plans to make that change, which I will disclose in a later episode, and hopefully that does help. But the thing is that like we assume that whoever's watching this and sees the runtime probably realizes that we're gonna get into spoilers. If I was like in like Moist Meter or Moist Critical, these episodes would be a lot shorter than than what we have now, which is like an hour long episodes. That's just how it is. But yeah, anyways, yeah, like I said, I like Gihan. I just wish he played things a little bit smarter. The writers at least wrote him to be smarter than he is, or like that, like as we know him to be from how much he looked for the recruiter and how much he memorized it, and when how he got the weapon. Like he definitely made connections. He became a smarter man. But however, when we get to the Squid Games, he just isn't like as he just isn't like as much of a leader as I think he should have been. But like at least how it was presented within the first few episodes of this season. But yeah, let's get into the main villain of the show, Hwang In-ho, the front man. I'm just gonna call him front man because it's easier for me, and I don't want to bleed any ears. You know, I don't like any ears bleed from me talking. I will have to pronounce more of these. More of the Korean names, except for a few, which I did shorten because, god damn it, I'm terrible. I guess, like I said, I'm terrible with foreign names. Yeah, let's get into the front man, the main villain. So, I like the idea they went with within this season, where we have the front man. However, and it's a very similar premise to what we had with the with Oh Il Nam in the first season, where we have him being part of the Squid Games, experiencing it, and all that, and all that. However, then we have the front man, where it was also in the Squid Games, but we know he is the front man. Unlike Oh Nam, we didn't know Oh Nam was the creator of the games until the very last episode. Which I think I might have mentioned, I might have not, if I remember. I think it really did work. I think it worked and actually set up this quite well. And I think that's one of the things that really say to me, okay, they really were planning for season 2. Like maybe initially they wanted it to be my mistake. They wanted it to be a season 1, but then it changed to be multiple seasons. Maybe just until season 2 because of how season 2 is written. I feel like it's maybe that they intended it to be 2 seasons, like just one more season, one very long season, because seasons 2 and 3 combined to be 13 episodes, but they didn't do it, and they instead said, hey, we're gonna split it into 2, with season 2 being 7 episodes and season 3 being 6. Maybe that's how it is. I would have preferred it to be 2 seasons because we'll get into the plot later and how I feel about it. But yeah. Anyways, back to the front man. Unlike Oh Il Nam, you from the get go you knew that the front man was part of the games, so we're just kind of watching how the characters reacted, how the characters didn't know that, or how, like, what decisions the front man made while in the games, and it was set up in the first season, which had Oh Nam like tell the front man that, hey, that you wouldn't appreciate what the fuck, like, you don't know how it feels until you like play the games yourself or something. Yeah, I already forgot, but yeah, it was something like that. And it was set up then, and he was gonna join and whatever the fuck. And something that I actually liked about the front man is that it's not like he had ulterior motives to being in the games. He was just playing the games fairly. Of course, he's gonna play the games fairly, and well, of course, he's gonna die. He's not gonna die. Like, people playing the games as intended, but it's also kind of knowing that he's not going to die. But something that I'm kind of noticing now, I guess something very smartly, but also like it kind of speaks to like how Gi-hun was written, like how Gi-hun, like Ali wrote Gi-hun during the games, which I'm not entirely convinced it was a good thing. It's just a thing that happened. Is that, like, if we were to look at it that way, that Gi-hun is meant to be sort of desperate and not really himself, you could say that the front man sort of played into that and kept, like, I guess, feeding the conflict between the two sides. So there would be people on the opposing side, like there would still be people that say, hey, we should not leave. Which, you know, like that would be smart. But then again, I don't particularly like I just don't like, if that's the plan they made for Gihan, just being like very like desperate and trying to get people to stop the games, then maybe this could be a thing. But if it's not, then he maybe just does it to inspire confidence or whatever, just to play with Gihan's emotions. Like, he definitely had motives there. However, he clearly plays along with what Gihan is doing, which, you know, it's kind of cool that he does like play by those rules and does like gain their trust and whatever the fuck. And I'm guessing that him trying to like convince people to join the other side or whatever the fuck is just him, I guess, fueling that rivalry. If you guys okay, side tangent. Fuck the word rivalry with all of my goddamn balls, I guess. I don't fucking know. Just fuck that word, man. If you guys have been on the podcast for quite a bit of time, you might have remembered me having a problem pronouncing the word rivalry, which I'm not having now because I'm talking about it. I'm making sure I don't pronounce it wrong. But yeah, it's a word that gives me problems, and if you've been on the podcast and watching other episodes, you might have heard me pronounce it and have trouble and do the same shit I did right now. So fuck me, I guess. Anyways, back to Frontman. Yeah, I if that's the intention, I mean that's cool, but if it's not. But yeah, anyways, I do like the frontman a lot in the show, and I feel like he is a big highlight, and you kind of feel the tension and all that. And how he betrays them at the end, and slipping back into that persona when he saw the chance. Like, the frontman is really cool, and how he's playing with that. I haven't seen season 3 yet. I know it's out, I know it's been out for a good while, that fucking show, that season, but I want to see how that works. I know I've already been spoiled and whatever the fuck, but I haven't seen how that plays out. I haven't seen much of the frontman aside from the final scene with Charlie Theron. But yeah, let's move on to Park Jung-bae. This is now entering the characters that I can talk less about. Kind of, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, Park Jung-bae. We saw him in season 1, but he wasn't really there for a lot of time. He was the guy who, like, he was betting with Gi-hun, and he didn't want him in his bar and whatever the fuck, and now he's here. And it's a play on the. It's a play on what. I forgot his name. I actually forgot his name. Give me a second. Sangwoo. There we go. I knew what it was. Sangwoo. It's a play on Sangwoo, where it's a childhood friend from it's one of Gi-hun's childhood friends, his friend in general, and he's participating in the games. It's a play on that. However, what I like about this is that he's like kind of friendly and all that, and how much he actually wants to help instead of sort of doing things for himself. That's actually a really cool spin on it. Like, it's something that I really like about this show, or about this season. It's one of the things, the ups that I have. But there are quite a bit of downsides that I gotta talk about, which are downsides. There aren't just things that could have been done better. It's just like legitimate downsides that this show has, or this season has. But back to the positives. Park Jung-bae is something that I think is I think it's a really cool parallel to Sang-woo, because like he's uber friendly, he has to do things for himself, and ultimately instead of him just kind of instead of him killing himself at the end of the games, like he is. Instead of like how Sang-woo he killed himself at the end of the first season, in here, Jung-bae is killed to upset to take down Gi-hun's morality and not morality morale, morale, there we go, to just sort of to hurt his morale. So that's cool, but honestly, I actually really like Jung-bae as a character in this show, and I like how they actually brought him back. I think it makes a lot of sense. He was also struggling, and financially, and seeing him here, I think it makes sense. It's been quite a bit of time, but yeah, I like him. There's not much more to say because he dies at the end, but it's something that I liked a lot. Next up, our sort of last returning character that actually doesn't. I missed it. There we go. Our last big returning character, Hwang Junho, the brother of the frontman. Junho is still the weakest part of the season, and just the actual worst part of the season. So, I really wanted this to go in a different direction with this character. So there's the thing is, Junho, fucking hell, is that Junho does nothing. I probably say, you could tell that they were at those scenes with Junho and whatever the fuck they were added in. He had so much potential. Now that they had a concrete idea of where they wanted the show to go, we could have had something a lot more, I guess, connected to what Gi-hun was doing. But we didn't get that in season 2. Instead, what we got was just him on a boat for most of the season. It's aside from the first 2 episodes, which again, like I've been saying, I really liked, because it was the 2 characters that we saw from the first season finally meeting up in a solid manner and trying to make up a plan. Obviously, it fails. However, something that I would have liked is for at least something to happen, But instead, we got the boat scenes and all that stuff, and them going to the island, or at least them trying to do something with the island. However, it's nothing actually happens. They find an island, they say, oh, it's the wrong one. Then we go, oh, we're on the thing, whatever the fuck. Junho does nothing, and I feel like that's such wasted potential with his character in this show, and in this season specifically. He could have had a much bigger role in this season. However, it's something that just didn't happen. It's something that just did not happen. Because again, he's meant, aside from the first 2 episodes and all that, like, he was just added there to pad out time enough for there to be a show instead of just being a movie like the director originally intended to be. So yeah, like, again, Juno does nothing. Like, the fact that he goes down from being a detective or where the fuck he was, it does nothing for the plot. Like, I can't stress enough how much I don't care about anything, where this could have been really interesting and it just isn't. It just isn't interesting. So yeah. And it's really, again, it's really sad that I can't, that I just don't like this when I should. It should have been the main focus of the show, like them trying to find the. I think it would have been really interesting to see how, like, if they wrote in this like, I guess, a military, like, mercenary group more into the plot, but we just don't see that. So yeah, that's sad, but it's something, I guess. Next up is Kang Daeho. Daeho? Daeho. Daeho, right? Am I Daeho, right? Am I being fucking stupid? Korean to English. Nope, that's not what I want. Here we go. I just do this. No, alright,
Daeho.
Yep, I'm right. Okay, Daeho. Right?
Daeho.
Daeho. No, but they definitely enunciate that in the show. Alright. Daeho. I like Daeho as a character, and I'm kind of. There's not much to say here. However, I like how he's like. How he puts on a brave face of him being like a marine and whatever, and him doing that. But then when we get to season to like the finale, he's a coward and whatever the fuck, and he doesn't know how to shoot a gun, which I found weird because I know why everyone else, I guess, knows how to shoot a gun, or at least would know, because I'm pretty sure South Korea has mandatory military service, if I'm not mistaken. Have mandatory military, like, thank you, Google, for knowing what the fuck. Yeah, for all able-bodied men, they require 7 years for a period for ranging from 18 to 22 months. That's AI thing. Between the ages of 18 and 35 to perform compulsory. Women are not required. Yeah, like, this is something that is part of their thing. However, yeah. So I thought that at least everyone there would know how to shoot a gun, but it seems like Daeho does not. But I know that's explained in season 3 that he performed what's it called, Stolen Valor, where he just kind of, or where he just kind of says he's from the Marines because he thinks they were cool, and that's something I think that's very interesting to put there for a character. And I like how they made it part of his, a big part of his character, and we see when we see that happen, we're like, what the fuck is going on? However, that's the thing. When I was watching the show, I was like, yeah, no, I can kind of surmise that it's Stolen Valor, but the thing is that the season itself doesn't. I guess that just like you can tell. Like if you can tell it like enough, you and you can tell what's happening, like why he's like that, then sure, it's like it's well written. But like how the show ends and how the show portrays it leads me to believe that this was supposed to be just one more season for the show, and they split into two because they wanted to drag it out. That's it. That's it. But yeah. Anyways, I like Deho a lot, and I don't mind the stolen valor thing. I don't think it makes him any less cool. I tell him if he could put on a brave face for all of the things like he went through there and all that. I think it's an excuse. I don't know what the laws of stolen valor are in Korea, in South Korea, but hey, he still like performed. He still showed bravery. So I don't know. You see, like even if he had stolen valor, he then proved himself to be a worthy ally. Anyways, let's move on to Kim Jun-hee, which is the girlfriend of MG Coin, or Myung-ji, right? Yeah, I mean Myung-ji, who is pregnant in the show, and that I feel like that poses an interesting question. That is, I guess, the big part of her, and also her not wanting to go back to him and wanting to take care of the baby, which, you know, fair enough. If MG Coin gets fucking blasted his entire goddamn show, just does not catch a break, which honestly he shouldn't. He's a fucking crypto scammer. But yeah, it also like that him. I understand that, and like what Jun-hee is going through, and how and like her situation and all that, and it's very sad. And it poses an interesting question within the games, which will be answered in season 3. I know that because nobody ever shuts the fuck up about this CGI baby. But like we will see like what happens when you know a person who you know, like a person has a baby like within the games, does it count as player 4, 5, 6, or is it not counted? What's going on? I know like it's answered season 3, and I know the answer to it, but it was still an interesting question that ponder around within the show. And even then, Jung-hee stands as her own as a character and stands her own within the games, and it's something that that makes sense, and actually carries over to season 1, where Gi-hun doesn't really care about any of the disadvantages that comes with people who are disadvantaged within the games, like how during season 1, like people didn't really want there to be women because who knows what could go up there, which is definitely a way to think, not a I wouldn't call it a very effective way, because the games are probably made to be fairly played. Like everyone's supposed to have a fair advantage, so thinking that just like pure strength would get you through it instead of actually making up a solid team of people who are smart and can guide you through it, I think it's a weird take, which, you know, does help win, as we saw in season 1 with the ropes, with the rope game. But yeah, and again, Gi-hun does help out. Gi-hun's like his team and all that, and other people throughout here do help Jun-hee. throughout the show. Like Hyunju and Gyumja and all that. Yeah. So I like that. Something that carries over from the first season. But yeah, no. Let's move on to two characters from the show. The mother and son Park Young Sik and previously mentioned Jang Gyum Ja. Gyum Ja. Jang Gyum Ja. Yeah. Park Young Sik. All right. So these two go together because they're pretty much hand in hand, part of each other's like stories. Like I said, mother and son, or son and mother, and I like them. I like their bickering and how it is. Unfortunately, we kind of already know how it's gonna end, and you are rooting for these characters. Like the show gives you the sense of hope. With these characters and like their situations and all that. So, and this is one of them this mother and son that don't want to kill each other, that were here because they were both invited to the games. And yeah. So, yeah, they're both a really tragic tale. There's not much more to say about them. They're both a really tragic tale, and Gyumja does help out Johnny Hee throughout the games and all that. And how much she doesn't really want to, how much she wants to leave. And yeah, no, like I like that. And they have Jung Sik, which has more depths and all that. And has to go through the games and go more through them, and you know, I like this. I like how they're not just like completely hand in hand. They have their own conflicts between each other and all that. That's cool. That's cool, and I like that. But that's really the only thing going for them, at least for now. We'll see how it goes in season 3. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to not our final contestant, but I guess our final good character. Not really. Chung Hyunju, which is a transgender character that is here to get money for her procedures, and does about a lot. And I liked how people kind of underestimated her within the show, within the season. And you know, we saw her like have like how she was part of the military and have all the and how she led the people out there to fight to get to the control room and whatever. But yeah, I think she was a really cool character. She was a really cool character. And you know, aside from there's not much more to say, because again, like this is just part 1 of 2 of a season, instead of just being like more just an actual season of television. But I like this character a lot, and she's one of my favorites in this season in general. One of my favorites within this new cast of characters, and how much like she makes connections, and also wanting to end them, to end the Squid Games and go home. That I think, you know, that's cool. Anyways, let's move on to sort of good guy slash bad guy, Kang No-u. Now, this character, not a contestant, but a part of the actual like workforce for like the. I think they're called the soldiers, or the whatever the fuck, like the ones that go through that kill people within the games, which is an interesting take. However, something that's weird within the show is that they don't really focus on it a lot. We have the whole like organ harvesting plot line, which kind of goes nowhere really within the show. But there's also the plot line about her and this kid, and her seeing the dad within the game trying to get the money, and her like helping him without him knowing, and all that. Like, I think that's cool. But however, we focus on this too little, and that's a big problem. However, I'll take this in the plot, but a big problem I have with this season in general is the fact that juggles way too much. Like, it really, it wanted to amp everything that season 1 did. However, I think it did it like not in a good way. Like, it did a lot of characters that just kind of exist to kind of be here. They just kind of insist to add more, and I think there's just too much to juggle around. Aside from what we already saw in season 1, and how like I guess how heartbreaking that like the first few big deaths were within that show. And in here, it just kind of feels like nothing. I don't know, like they were focusing on they had too much on the table for it to really feel like a lot. And when they actually started to actually kill people within the show, I felt like it was somebody who more so, instead of being their own character, just kind of added to another character, which was, I forgot her name already, but the girl who died and like who was really good friends with Hyunju. And like Kim Jae invited like to get together like at their house and eat and whatever the fuck like that. It was mostly just added on to Hyunju's character instead of just being her own character, and it didn't really feel like much. That's a big problem. And also, no, but like, aside from Park Jung-bae, like a lot of the characters here just kind of add to that. Even though I kind of enjoyed them as characters, it didn't feel like wow. It doesn't feel like Sang-woo again, or what was his name again? I have it here, right? Let me just. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. I turned off my my hotspot, so now my computer doesn't do things correctly. Here we go. Or like or Ali, or even Ilnam, which we knew which we later knew he was fine until he dies anyway, so whatever. Or Sabyok, or Sabyok, or Sabyok, whatever. Sabyok. How the fuck do you pronounce this? Kang Sabyok. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, again, the kind of the character, you don't really feel that. Anyways, like the same thing with no, you don't really feel, but there's too much juggle, so you don't really spend time with them, so you don't really feel anything, or like feel their actual purpose. Next up is Thanos. Not that Thanos, but kind of based on that character. I think he is a fine enough villain, like a fine enough antagonist. I just feel like that's it. This feels like just an character. I like how insane he is and all that, but we do see him. How do you call it? We see him like how he affects like his name Minsu and Semi and all that. But that's really about it. But yeah, no, Thanos was fun while he was around, but he didn't really add much to the plot aside from him being a really big proponent of. That was really fast. A really big proponent of like the movement with the characters who want to stay and those who didn't want to stay, and them in front of the conflict in the bathroom and all that stuff. Like yeah, that was mainly what he was used for. Aside from that, he's not really that much of a big character that I thought he was gonna be going to the show or going to the season. I keep saying show when I need to see season. And going to the season. But yeah, that's Thanos for you. And let's talk about some other characters. Like MG Coin. I already talked about MG Coin. He's a fucking crypto scammer and how much of an asshole, just a dick he is. Like yeah, that makes sense. And I like that about this show. Like we have like this part of reality. Like yes, crypto scammers would probably be in the Squid Game, and just like them going to the gutter because their fan base keeps like, and how their fan base also goes into this trying to win some like actual money. Yeah, that's a really interesting like dynamic to have here, and I did not expect MG Coin to survive as long as he has right now. Anyways, another character I want to talk about just for a little bit is Park Young Suk. Or Suk. Which is the father of the girl who like has like disease or blood or whatever the fuck it is. I already forgot. Or I don't remember well. But he's in there and he's the one getting help from Noel. And yeah, it's a cool dynamic. We just don't see him a lot, and we don't see Noel a lot. It's a big part of the first of like those first 2 episodes, but yeah, we don't see him a lot within the show. So yeah, it's sad to not see that the plot line being explored more, but whatever, right? Anyways, let's go into the plot of the show. And something that I want to mention, and that I've mentioned all along, is the fact that this is the first part of 2, and this is the big problem I have with this season. Is the fact that this season feels like it was chopped in half, like it does. It's good overall, but it feels like it was chopped in 2. There are unresolved plot lines up the asshole. Within the season, like we have the boat stuff, the games I understand them being unresolved, but the thing is, like we have like I mentioned the fact that we don't get like a full explanation of the Daeho stuff, the boat stuff. I already mentioned that. I'm gonna knock out the games. Yeah, I get that. The no stuff, and if I know the dad survives, but not really explained well. There's another thing. Oh, like just like again, everything. Not even just the boat stuff. Like there's like subcategories within the boat stuff. Like we have them trying to find the island, which is still like a big problem that is going on. Then we also have the fact that that the boat captain is part of the part of the organization behind the games, and he saved. And I don't even know why he saved fucking. I'm guessing he saved Junho to keep an eye on him, so the frontman could keep an eye on him and whatever the fuck. We have all that unresolved by the end. A bunch of characters don't have like resolutions to their stories. Like it felt like there wasn't a complete season, and that is a big problem. You feel unsatisfied, like, which is sad. I felt like I was, god damn it, that wasn't what I wanted from the show. And like I've been saying, like this season really tried to do a lot and instead did very little. With its juggling a lot of characters, a lot of plot lines, which really hurt the season. Like it really did. And I'm sad that that's how it ended, like how it went. Yeah, the baby stuff as well. Again, she Junhee's pregnant, and that is never explored ever, aside from her getting help from Gimja. That's it. That's all that happens within that plot line. Like again, it feels like it's part one, and I feel like it would have been better. Like I think I would have not had this complaint if it was marketed as that, because I think seasons in and of themselves should be treated like as a narrative, you know, like it should be that one season is one narrative. It's like a narrative, like a full-on narrative. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Even though it's supposed to go into something else, it shouldn't feel like plot lines are left just incomplete. Like, sure, you can leave things like threads hanging. You can leave loose threads to interact with later, but it should feel like a complete thing. And that's not what Season 2 of Squid Game actually feels like. So it's weird. It's weird, and that's a big problem I have. And again, the big part is the boat scenes. The boat scenes add nothing, and they are unresolved, and they are just kind of meh. Like they're the weakest part of the show. I think going to something I think is a big strong point is how different the tone is within the show. Like in here, like in the first season you feel like dread for the characters, and here you're hopeful. Like I think the season is really smart. A big positive. The season's really smart at giving you false hope, because you really want these characters to survive, because you think there's an actual way to save these characters, which there may or may not be. I kind of know what happens already, but yeah, like maybe it happens to me, it doesn't. Who knows? But yeah, I just wish that things tied in better with this season. That it was just written to be a complete season. I wish they changed it to be that way, or at least released everything as one instead of giving 6 months of wait, you know? Or like, I don't like this. I hate like what I'm about to say, that this is an actual thing I would have preferred than it being 2 separate seasons. But I would have wished they just said, oh, this is season 2 part 1, and then season 2 part 2 is coming out later. Like, at least again, hey, like, it's one season, you know? Like, sure, it might have taken a while to get there, but this is one complete season. Instead of just being like, oh, season 2 just ends here abruptly, but then you're supposed to watch season 3. Like, come on, no. This is all as one season. Like, don't be... Don't milk it this much. I mean, I'm going to. I get 2 episodes out of this. But, yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, different tone I really do enjoy. It being like this more action-esque, this more hopeful show, even though that hope is misplaced. But yeah, like, that's what this showed as well, but everything, like, inside of it, like, actually, like, part of it, it's just kind of, like, it's too much for how long this is, and how much they want to do for, like, at least too much for this season, and too much for anything to actually be meaningful, and how the first season handled it, when those characters that you liked and you were building towards this entire season started dropping dead, like, it felt powerful. Like, it felt absolutely just it felt like you felt bad. You felt like, God, this is awful. Not like awful, like bad. It's just like awful for the characters. It's just you felt bad for them. Like, that's when I realized that season 1 is really good, but there are things that the season 1 could do better. That's when I really fell in love with that show for that season. Where we have, like, where sure, like, okay, yeah, the games are going on and whatever, and I end up building up on the characters. But then when you get to episode 7, episode 7. And when we get to the marbles and you see, like, them betraying each other, like, God, that one actually was really good. But yeah, that's just. But this show specifically, like, this season doesn't do that. It doesn't build upon these characters for me to care about them, and I feel like it kills them way too early. Like, the first big death that we see within the squad, I guess, is what's her name again? Yeah, it's the girl who Young Me. Yeah, young Me. Like, that's like the first big death, I guess. And it's gonna feel like nothing because you didn't really get to know the character before then, so yeah. But there are things I like here. But overall, it's good, but it tries to do too much, and it leaves too much hanging for it to be an actual, I guess, like a fulfilling experience. And honestly, if I was the fans who were waiting so long for season 2 to come out, I would have just waited for season 3, so you could watch it all at once and not feel completely disappointed. So that's why Squid Game season 2 is going in the B tier. Just overall, good, but it has its moments of weird decisions that really bring it down. So anyways, that's it. What did you guys think about the second season? What did you guys think of the second season of Squid Game? Leave in the comments below. All of our socials on the description, and if you want to give us your feedback, you can. If you want to stay up to date with our content, you can follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, or whatever you get your podcasts. I'm pretty sure we're there in places that you probably didn't even know existed, to be completely honest. Or I didn't even know existed. Anyways, then we have if you want to give us your feedback, you can like or dislike this episode on YouTube, or rate us on Spotify. And if you think it's worth sharing around, you can share it around. Like I said, over our social description, including a new one that I made. I mean, a new thing. Yeah, I didn't want to make a new one because I saw this, like, looking for. I saw, like, this thing, looking for thumbnail art for one of our episodes, or for one of the next episodes, and not next, but definitely one of the future episodes we're making. And I was like, God, do I have to make this? And I did. I made a backlogged account, which is pretty much. I might have already mentioned this or might not. If I don't know, but it's basically serialized or letterboxed for games, and you can see what I'm playing currently, and what I've wish listed, what's in my backlog, and all that. So yeah, it's in the description as well. You can go check that out if you want. But yeah, no. I might have mentioned at the beginning. I just don't remember. I don't know. But I won't check. I'll check. But I don't know. Anyways, that's about it. See ya.